Hey guys, I'm Chico from Chico Study Corner and today I'll be dealing with the part 4 of electrochemistry chapter. If you haven't watched my previous parts, I would link it in the description below. So without any further ado, let's get into the chapter. So today I'll be dealing with batteries. So what is a battery? Battery is an arrangement of two or more electrochemical cells in series. ECC is electrochemical cells. I wrote this a short form. So what is a quality or how can you define a good cell? What are its characteristics? First one, it should be lightweight. If it was heavy, many things wouldn't have been possible. Secondly, compact size. If the battery of a watch was bigger than a watch, then how would you handle it? It would be heavy, you can't have a watch. Then, next one, the voltage shouldn't vary appreciably. When it's working, the voltage shouldn't vary appreciably. If the voltage of the battery is 10 volt, it should work as 10 volt itself. Then the next point is long life. Long life means if the battery was only working for 2 days, then it would be a huge waste. And also, it's not that good. So what are the points? It should be lightweight, compatible size, the voltage shouldn't vary appreciably, and also long life. Next, we'll be dealing with the types of batteries. There are 3 types of batteries: primary cell, secondary cell, and fuel cells. So we'll learn about each in detail. So first about primary cell. To talk about primary cell, it's just a one direction cell. Okay? And then it is not rechargeable. It's non-rechargeable cell. It has a shorter life period. And then the example of primary cell is a dry cell and a mercury cell. We'll learn about all of these. Like dry cell, we have the anode reaction, cathode reaction, the anode, cathode, electrolyte. Every cell which I'm mentioning right now is there to study. So first is primary cell. Second one is secondary cell. Secondary cell is something where there is 2 pathways or 2 cell reactions taking place. There is a large number of recharging and discharging taking place in this kind of cell. So over here what happens is there is 2 cycles, that is recharging cycle and discharging cycle. And how do you, this is also a rechargeable cell. Then how do you recharge a secondary cell? You will invert or you will reverse the current flow, so it will get charged. The next one is fuel cells. Sorry, I forgot to mention the examples. So first one is nickel-cadmium cell and the second one is lead storage battery. We have to learn about both and their anode reactions also. Then the next one is fuel cell. You know what is a fuel? Fuel is something that is used for running a vehicle or something that's used by combustion. So fuel cells are the same. That is fuels are used and they are combusted to form electrical energy. Combustion energy is directly converted to electrical energy in fuel cells. What are these combusted energy sources? It's either hydrogen, methane or other sources of fuels. So we learned about primary cell. First one is dry cell in detail. So now we are dealing with the primary cells examples in detail. So the first example is dry cell. Dry cell is also called as Leclanché cell. So this is dry cell. And then we learn about its anode, cathode, electrolytes, its anode reaction and cathode reaction. So what is the anode for a dry cell? That is a zinc container. And then what is a cathode? Cathode is a graphite rod which is coated with powdered MnO2. That is manganese oxide. Okay? And then what is the electrolyte? Electrolyte is a paste of NH4Cl and ZnCl2. It's a paste of NH4Cl and ZnCl2. So this is all about what is anode, cathode and electrolyte. You have to by heart all these points. Then comes the equations. So what is the anode reaction? Anode reaction is, anode is zinc. So we learned we learned about zinc inside the Daniel cell. The same reaction happens here also. See, Zn is split in forming Zn2 plus 2 electrons. And then coming the cathode reaction. This reaction also you have to by heart because actually we don't know how it is forming. So we will by heart the equation. So it goes like this: 2 electrons plus 2 MnO2 plus 2 NH4. NH4 plus would give 2 MnOOH, OH is in the bracket, plus 2 NH3. So this is the anode reaction and cathode reaction. Now I'll show you the overall reaction. So the overall reaction would be the combination of both anode and cathode reaction. So this is the overall reaction that I'm going to write. OR is overall reaction. So what is it? Zinc is there. By the way, when electrons come, you cancel them out. Same number. That is why we made it into 2. Everything has 2. We have to balance the electrons. So we cancel them. Zn plus 2MnO2 plus 2NH4 plus would give rise to Zn2 plus, it's the continuation over here, Zn2 plus 2MnOH plus 2NH3. This is the overall reaction actually. So ammonia that is produced inside the reaction would form a complex with Zn2 plus and form, this is the complex that it forms, okay? This is the complex that it forms. It will act with Zn and form this complex, okay? And then I'll tell you about the cell potential. Cell potential is approximately equal to 1.5 volts. It's not exactly equal to, it's approximately equal to. And then where all is it used? It's used in transistors, clocks, etc. Now we'll be dealing about the second example of a primary cell, that's a mercury cell. So let's learn about it in detail. So first, what is the anode of a mercury cell? The anode is zinc amalgam. What is zinc amalgam? Amalgam is something that is related to mercury. So we'll write how we write it. Representation is ZnHg. Okay? This is the first one. Anode is complete. Now cathode. Cathode, what is the cathode? That's a paste of both HgO and carbon. Okay? And what's the electrolyte? Electrolyte is also a paste of KOH and ZnO. And now we'll learn about the electrode reactions and overall reaction. So what is the electrode reaction? First one, we'll talk about anode reaction. So this is the anode reaction. This is the compound which we wrote over here. Can you see zinc amalgam? That is over here. Zinc amalgam plus 2OH minus gives ZnO plus H2O plus 2 electrons. That is our anode reaction. Our cathode reaction is HgO, that is mercuric oxide plus water plus 2 electron gives mercury plus 2OH minus. Now we know when you have the same compounds in the opposite sides of a reaction, you cancel it out. So let's see what all are there. On this side there's H2, over here there's H2. So cancelled. Here there is 2 electrons, here also there is 2 electrons. Again cancelled. Here there is 2 hydroxygen and then it's also cancelled. Yeah, 2 OH minus is also cancelled. Now we'll write the overall reaction of the cell. So the overall reaction of the cell is, let's see, the overall reaction. So we have these compounds are gone, so we'll remove them. Okay, these are not there, this is not there, and this is not there. Now just add up all this. Yeah, ZnHg plus HgO, this is HgO, gives rise to ZnO plus Hg. Over here you can see there is no ionic compounds. So what is there any ionic compound? There is no ionic compounds. So that means there is no change in the electrode potentials or voltage. That is I told you that's a very good quality of a cell. What was that? There shouldn't be appreciable change in the voltage during its function. So there is no change because there is no ionic compounds. So next is cell potential. The cell potential is again approximately equal to 1.35 volt. Now we learn lead storage battery. So lead storage battery is a secondary cell, I told you. So secondary batteries are having two cycles, that is charging cycle and discharging cycle. So they have different reactions for charging and discharging. I'll discuss that. Before that we have to learn what is anode, cathode and electrolyte. So the anode of a lead storage battery is lead, okay, and the cathode is a grid of lead it is packed with PbO2, that is lead dioxide. Okay, and then the next one is the electrolyte. The electrolyte is 38% concentrated sulfuric acid. And then as I told you, these have two reactions. No, these what you say, lead storage battery. So these reactions, if one of the reaction has anode as lead and cathode as for example cathode as PbO2, then it will switch for the other one. Then the cathode will become the anode will become the cathode. Yeah. So we learn about the discharging reaction first. Now we will talk about discharging cycle. So first one is the anode reaction. The anode reaction goes like this. Pb plus SO4 2 minus gives PbSO4 plus 2 electrons. Then the second one is the cathode reaction. Cathode reaction is PbO2 plus SO4 2 minus plus 4H2O plus 2 electrons giving PbSO4 plus 2H2O. Yeah, this is the anode and cathode reaction. Now as I told, we have to cancel out the opposite, in the opposite side which all comes, we'll cancel it out. This is cancelled, this is cancelled. Then is there something else that has to be cancelled? No, you can't find. Yeah, no, there's nothing else. So now we'll write the reaction. We have already written it. I'll tell you how it happens. So first on the overall reaction is first Pb. The Pb from here is written over here. PbO2 and H2SO4. There is no H2SO4. From where is the H2SO4? The H2SO4 is this. So there is two SO4, no, SO4 and SO4. And that too, it is in the same side. You can't cancel it. It's in the same side. So that becomes 2 SO4. And there is 4H plus. When 4H plus 2 SO4 combines, it forms H2SO4. And then comes 2 PbSO4, that is over here. And then plus 2 H2O. Yeah, there is 2 PbSO4 and 2 H2O. So this is the overall reaction. So now we've come to the end of the discharging cycle. Now we are learning about the charging cycle of lead storage battery. So first we learn about the anode reaction. So the anode reaction goes like this. PbSO4 plus 2H2O would give rise to PbO2 plus 4H plus SO4 minus plus 2 electrons. So this is the anode reaction. Now we learn about the cathode reaction. The cathode reaction is PbSO4 plus 2 electrons giving Pb plus SO4 2 minus. So we will write it down to make it the overall reaction. So the overall reaction, before writing the overall reaction, we have to cancel something. What all are there to cancel? There is 2 electrons over here and 2 electrons over here. It's cancelled. Now there is nothing else that can be cancelled, so we will write down the reaction. So we will see 2 PbSO4. There is 2 PbSO4, yes. 2 H2O, 2 H2O, okay. PbO2, PbO2, Pb, Pb. 4H plus, 4H plus, SO4 minus, SO4 minus, S2 SO4 minus, so there is 2 SO4 minus. That is the actual reaction. But I told you in the previous one, in the discharging cycle, that 4H plus 2 SO4 minus is 2 H2SO4. So we will write it down as 2 PbSO4 plus 2 H2O gives rise to PbO2 plus Pb plus 2 H2SO4. And this is the overall reaction. So now we are talking about H2O2 cell, that is a fuel cell. This cell was used in the when astronauts were going to the space, because this used the energy to work in that spacecraft. And also over here water is liberated, and that water was given for the astronauts to drink. That's a very good thing. So let's see what it is. So the anode and cathode, we discussed about anode and cathode in the other cells also. So this is what we are going to discuss. So anode and cathode is porous carbon electrodes. Okay, it's porous carbon electrodes incorporated. They have catalysts like finely powdered or finely divided platinum or palladium. Okay, why is that there is finely divided platinum or palladium? That is because that would help to increase the rate of electrode reaction. Okay, now we'll discuss about this setup. So these are the two, this is the anode and cathode, yeah. This is the porous carbon electrodes, and through here you can see there are 3 valves. What all comes in, what all goes out, I'll tell you. So through this side that comes hydrogen gas is flushed inside. So hydrogen molecules would be over here, and through this side it's oxygen because it's H2O2 cell. There should be H2 and O2. So here is oxygen too. After the reaction, there is water produced. The water would move out through here. So H2O. And then talking about the electrolyte of this cell, the electrolyte is either concentrated aqueous KOH or NaOH. Okay. So now we'll learn about the anode reaction, cathode reaction, overall reaction and all. So first is the anode reaction. So the anode reaction is 2H2 plus 4OH minus gives 4H2O plus 4 electrons. And the cathode reaction is O2 plus 2H2O plus 4 electrons giving 4OH minus. So that is the anode and cathode reaction. Let's see the overall reaction. So, is there something that we can cut off in both the sides? Yes. The 4 electrons and 4 electrons go. And is there something else? Yeah. 2, it becomes 2. This becomes 0. And there's nothing else. So, we'll write it down. 2H2 plus O2 would give rise to, there's nothing over here except 2H2O. Then 2H2. That's it. Sorry, these also is cancelled, okay? So that's 2H2O. That is the overall reaction. And now we have to talk about the byproduct. This reaction gives a byproduct of potable water, okay? And the cell has a lot of advantages or good factors. So let's see what all are they. The first one is, if you supply these reactants continuously to the electrodes. These are the electrodes, no? This was the electrode, and these are the reactants. If these are continuously given into or is flushed into, then this whole cell will work continuously without any fail. Then the second one is the efficiency. It's highly efficient. It's 70% efficient. There is no 100% efficient cells. This is comparatively, it's a very high ratio. And then next one is the pollution free. It doesn't create any pollution because it's hydrogen and oxygen that is working inside, and it forms water. Water is very useful for humans, not only for humans, everyone. So this is a pollution free cell. So that's all for today's video. So I'm ending the session. This is part 4. And I will be uploading notes in my description. Please go download it and read it for better understanding. If you like my video, please do hit that like button, share, subscribe and comment. So see you in my next video. Till then, bye bye.